Namaste everyone and welcome back to India's in 10. Today we are taking a deep dive into one of the year's biggest geopolitical stories, the highly anticipated and ultimately failed Trump-Putin summit in Alaska. So what just happened? And more importantly, how will it affect the world, especially India, Russia and the United States? Let's break everything down in this video. Yesterday, US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin met in Alaska for crucial discussions on the Ukraine war and broader global tensions. Expectations were really high for some kind of breakthrough, but after hours of negotiation, both leaders walked away without a deal. Trump admitted progress was made but said no deal is a deal until there's full agreement, especially on Ukraine. Meanwhile, Putin called the talks productive but stopped short of giving any ground. This summit wasn't just about Russia and the US. Its outcome had the potential to reshape global alliances, the war in Ukraine, and the economic order. European leaders and Ukraine's President Zelensky watched very closely on this meeting, worried that decisions could be made without Ukraine at the table. Meanwhile, US allies in Asia, especially India, were left to calculate what the failure of this summit would mean for them in the future. So let us understand. So what does this failed summit mean for India? First of all, increased US tariffs and sanctions. The US had warned that if talks broke down, it would ramp up tariffs and possible sanctions targeting India's big purchases of Russian oil and arms. After the summit collapse, US officials have confirmed harsher tariffs on Indian goods and are pressurizing allies to also follow suit. This hits Indian exports hard and could force India to find pricier alternatives to Russian oil, which could be costlier. Ongoing US India trade negotiations have been put on ice. The US is upset over India's continued trade with Russia, especially its purchases of discounted oil despite Western pressures. Now, economic strain. See, if India has to cut back on Russian oil due to these sanctions, energy costs could surge. It will exponentially go really very high, impacting the Indian economy. Indian officials have called the US moves unjustified, but their options are very limited for now. How about Russia? Diplomatic win, yes, but no relief. While Putin gets to claim he was invited to the US for high level talks, the lack of an agreement means Russia remains heavily sanctioned and isolated even now. The ruble stays under pressure, foreign investment won't return, and Russia's export markets are also shrinking. After that, lost oil market. India has been a major buyer of Russian oil during the Ukraine conflict. If US sanctions scare India off, Russia could lose a vital customer for its energy exports, compounding its economic woes as well. Continued isolation, the most important impact, and that is with no break, Russia stays cut off from Western markets, technology, and even banking for that matter. And what about the US? For US, there will be more geopolitical tensions coming on. The summit's failure means the Ukraine war grinds on and tensions with Russia remains high. Economic blowback will also be an impact of the US. New tariffs on Indian goods might hurt American businesses that rely heavily on Indian imports and could trigger counter tariffs from India. Diplomatic fallout. America's push for allies to boycott Russian trade and punish India for breaking ranks could cause a divide in international coalition. So what's next? More talk of sanctions, more economic pain and more uncertainty. For India, higher tariffs and an energy squeeze. For Russia, continued isolation and possibly the loss of a crucial oil customer. For America, unresolved war and the challenge of keeping allies together as the global chessboard shifts. What do you think? Should India stand firm or look for new energy partners? Did Trump make the right call walking away? And can the US keep its global alliances together? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives on world events. Take good care of yourselves.